Hi, and welcome to another episode of Remember This with Denise Boland. And tonight I have a very dear friend of mine that we go way back. I think we go back since I met you when I was like 5 years old. So it's a very long time, good friend of mine, actor Anthony Capizzo. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So Anthony, what kind of crazy world are we living in now? Is it like upside down compared to when we were growing up?
Yeah, much. I don't know. It's nothing like I've ever seen in my life. We growing up, we played buck, we played stickball, hide and go seek. I mean, army. Everything. When we played army, we used old refrigerator boxes, washing machine boxes, tanks, and
Our imagination.
Growing up, it was bricks and mortar. Over the years, that was in the 70s. It just changed. Drugs started coming into the area, changed things. Yeah. You hear me?
I keep going. I can hear you. Talk loud. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, that's pretty much that. I mean, you had places to hang out. You were always, you were with your boyfriend, and I was always with my friends. We'd always see each other in passing and neighborhood. It was everybody knew each other, which was nice. Today, you probably don't even know your next door neighbor.
Exactly. And what about the parents? Weren't like everybody's parents like?
They all looked out for one another.
They really did.
They all looked out for each other's kids. Not that it was ass, but it was just the way that it was.
I would come home and my mother would say, "What were you doing on the corner with so-and-so?" And I'm thinking, how does she know that? And she would say, "I have eyes in the back of my head," which meant somebody called her and said they spotted me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neighbors.
They cared about us. And we were more of a community, more family oriented, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how did we get here?
I don't know. Things change. People. As kids, you grow up, and you just move on. As you're growing up, you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you go into the military. Fortunately, if you go the wrong way, and then just the fact that everybody gets older, we all seem to grow apart. But I found that I have very actual few friends of guys that I can call friends, and I keep in touch with them. I've always said to them, what? I've always said to them, I said, we may not see each other, but at least we talk on the phone. I don't want to plug a phone commercial, but Marvell was the next best thing to be in there. And that's the way I left it. I always left it to the fact that I wanted them to know I'm still alive. I don't know how that sounds to other people, but you don't get to see somebody, at least you get to hear their voice, and you catch up on something. Yeah, see how they're doing because you're in two separate areas. I mean, separate country or separate state. I have to be in a separate state.
And now you like me, I would rather just pick up the phone and talk to somebody than have like a 20-minute conversation through text messages, back and forth.
God.
Right?
That's the worst.
It's very impersonal, I think. I think text messages are good if you want to say something, you want to communicate to somebody, you don't know if they're busy, you don't know if they're in the middle of something. I get that.
True.
So you shoot them a text. But then when they respond, and then now you're having this whole big conversation through text.
What happens with us?
It's so much easier to pick up the phone.
I tell you, call me, or I wind up calling you because I can't be doing all this texting. I'm not that fast. I can't type 90 words per minute,
right,
or whatever the number's supposed to be. My thumbs were pretty good with the BlackBerry, but then the phones changed, and that was it. That was the end of it.
And me, I'm like the queen of typos. And then if I'm not wearing my glasses and I don't see what I'm typing, when I look at it later, I'm like, I can't believe I typed that. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, the best was, where are my glasses? They're on your head.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. One time I had one time I was on my cell phone talking to a friend of mine, and I'm looking around the house for my cell phone. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for my phone." And she's like, "You're on it." I'm like, "Oh God." The mind's the first to go, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Terrible
Yeah.
thing to waste.
Terrible thing to waste. So
Another
for
commercial
the
plug.
viewers, yeah, Anthony and I, we both grew up in Borough Park, Brooklyn, and there was a movie theater, and I used to have the poster up behind me. The Lowe's was on
Lowe's 46.
46th Street and Utrecht Avenue. What kind of acts were there? Do you remember? We had like I think Jerry
Yeah, as a
Garcia
matter of
was
fact.
there.
Oh yeah, remember? As a matter of fact, I had mentioned to you about keeping in touch with friends. So one of my friends that lives over by Greenwood Cemetery, that area, that's Midwood. He's on the internet, and some guy tells him he knows him. And my friend said, "I don't know you." So he sends him photographs, and he sends him photographs of the Lowe's 46 Theater marquee. That I think it was 1960 something, where it was Jerry Lewis in the Bellboy, and then he shows the famous, what we assume it's famous because this is what we grew up with. Wallach's clothing store, I don't know, some barbershop I've never been to, Lennox toy store. You remember going by Lennox toy store with your mother and saying, "Oh, Ma, I want that." You know, if they can get it
Way
to us, they
before
get it to
Toys
us.
R Us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wait, that
Way
was
before.
the neighborhood toy store. That was the place to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty. You know, the neighborhood changed. It turned into a furniture store. I don't know
The
what it
theater
is
is now a
now.
furniture store. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I know
well, it's way
Jefferson
better.
Airplane was there. I was too young to go. I was a kid.
Right.
Like
In the mid
1970, I was in
70s,
kindergarten.
in the mid 70s, ABC, they used to have the midnight special with Wolfman Jack. And
Kirshner? Was it
huh?
Don? Who had the midnight special? Who hosted that? Was it Don
Oh,
Kirshner?
I don't know who was behind it, but I know that the host was Wolfman Jack.
Oh, it was Wolfman
I
Jack.
never got to see him, but I did go a couple of times with a friend of mine, Mike, to the midnight special shows. You know, they would film them in the early afternoon, like 6, 7 o'clock at night. You know, and they were there for like maybe a year, and right after the Lowe's 46 closed as a theater, they then called it Banana Fish Garden. And then after Banana Fish Garden and ABC left, then it became a furniture store.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like
Yeah,
everything, things change. But when I go back to Brooklyn, the old neighborhood, even though it changed, I still get I get a good feeling because that's where our roots are, you know, our childhood is there, our memories are there, you know, and so I still get a good feeling going back. But all right, so let's move forward to today. You see any hope for our kids? I do. I see a lot of hope. I think there's going to be a lot of changes are coming, and I think it's going to be very hopeful.
Based on other stuff that we were talking like that, it's coming. They call it what, the awakening?
The Great Awakening.
Basically, the Great Awakening is coming, and
yes,
you know, the nonsense I was just watching on Facebook with a couple of recent videos with the politics. It's just these people are too out of it. They're too way out there, and they don't seem realistic, you know. And they're the ones who have changed everything.
You see their agenda. Their agenda is total government control, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the ultimate new world order, right?
Uh-huh. You're right.
God's not having it.
No.
Not having it. No.
No, he's not.
So, and maybe,
you know, some people say maybe he tests us. I think this is much more than a test.
Well, I think this whole COVID thing was like a test for something bigger that's going to come. They're talking about a new disease coming out of China that's even worse than this one. So, but I think when we finally get through it, I think it's like, do you remember? I don't remember the name. I'll say an Etch-a-Sketch. Remember Etch-a-Sketch? When you would make a nice design and then you want to do something else and you shook it and it was like a clean slate. Start over again. And it's going to be like a reset for us. So maybe it will be for our kids the way it was for us growing up, where we're not going to be so into the, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
the devices, technology,
Yeah.
and maybe there will be more one-on-one socializing like we had it, you know, so that's hopeful.
Yeah, prior to that, I mean, you know, there were videos they showed on kids growing up. Where you go to the park, play on swings, you climb dish, you do that, you play Stelzy, you know, you play all these games that even that I mentioned before. And nobody, it's ancient to them. It's like dinosaur. They have no idea. My grandkids wanted to know when they saw an LP. What's that? They didn't know what an LP was. They didn't know that it was actually music on vinyl because they grew up with DVDs. I mean, CDs, MP3 players and CDs. They don't.
And do you know what? Young people are fascinated. I think young people are fascinated with record players and records because it's something new to them. So now they're actually doing replicas. They're coming out with record players now. You can buy them. Couldn't buy them about 10 years ago.
Yeah, my grandkids, they have their phones. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Everything that they can do, they do on their phone, and that's enough for them because that's the way they grew up.
My daughter has a record player, and she said, "Can we go buy records?" But the only problem is, not too many of the current artists are putting themselves on albums, you know, on LPs.
No.
You know, so
No, it's actually CDs are cheaper to make.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Very, very well. I know on I think it's in a street, Carmine Street in Manhattan. It's not Little Italy. It's between
Like
Sixth
Clancy
Avenue
Street?
and Hudson Street. No, Hudson. No, that's on the east side. This is the west side. Between Seventh Avenue. It's on Carmine Street. Is the only vinyl store that I know about right now. And they used to have Record Trip, not Record Trip. It was on Kings Highway and not Kings Highway, Coney Island Avenue and Avenue J was a record store where he sold vinyl and stuff. He's been out of there for a very long time.
And don't forget Corvettes. Corvettes had a large selection of records.
Oh, EJ Corvettes, which is Caesar's Bay Bazaar.
It turned into
I think
Caesar's
it's still
Bay.
called Caesar's Bay. Bay Parkway and Shore Road.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it was good talking with you. If you had to, if I asked you to say something to the people out there, some kind of maybe wisdom that you want to impart, or just something you want to get out there about your take on life and or any advice, what would you say?
I don't know how corny this would sound, but
Okay.
on my high school graduation ring had I believe it had my birthstone in it. It had the date, and on the other side, because these would be my words, because you don't even know what it said. On the other side showed two kids, a boy and a girl, looking up towards the sun, and the saying was, "Look to the future."
Beautiful.
That's what I had. That's what I chose on my ring, which my daughter happens to have somewhere upstairs.
That's an amazing message. That's an amazing message. You just encourage me. Yes. Because you know what? The future is going to be great.
Yeah. Listen, if it goes back to the way that it was when we were kids, because I'm still a kid at heart, you know that. You know the way I joke around, and you know how I am. And for 62 years old, I don't feel.
Don't look.
No, but I don't even feel like that. What ticked me off once was somebody, I retired 5 years ago, and somebody called me Pop. And the only ones that called me Pop were my grandkids. Yeah. I wanted to pop this kid myself, but I had to be cool. So,
that's how I feel when people call me ma'am. I mean, I know down south it's a thing of respect, but over here, it just means that they think you're old.
Yeah.
I don't like being called ma'am.
Yeah, or sir, who you calling sir?
Exactly.
I got a name. My name is Anthony. That's it. You call me Anthony.
That's right.
The work is at the job. They call me Anthony because we have security, and these people from where they came from, they have respect for older people, so they call it sir, ma'am. But I just, I don't know. I can't relate to that. It's crazy.
Because in our minds, we're still young. All right, before we go, favorite movie growing up? Favorite movie growing up?
Oh boy, from way back.
Childhood, from teen years, early 20s, or
Uh,
you want to hear
Funny
mine?
thing is, I used to stay up late at night with my mother and watch old movies, Errol Flynn movies and stuff like that. It was great. The monster. I don't mean to drag this on, but monster movies were the best because my mother would get the pillow, and when the horrible part would come, she would take the pillow and cover her eyes. It was so funny.
Great memories. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Remember
I don't
Creature
know.
Feature? Chiller. Was it Chiller? It was Chiller with the
Chiller
hand.
Theater. Yeah.
And Creature Feature. Remember Creature Feature? I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember every Sunday night. Wasn't there like a Sunday night movie every Sunday night? Or
Oh man. Channel 9. You know what I'm talking about.
Dark Shadows?
No, that was the music playing in the background for the theater, like for that show on that night. Because it was like this one night that it was like the major movie. I think it was Channel 9, but they were independent stations, 9, 5, and 11. And then the major ones were the other ones, 2, 4, and 7. I don't know.
And then
I grew up.
if you turned it to UHF, you would get all those other channels. Do you remember? Like you could get like Channel 21.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when we had the rabbit
channel.
ears.
Yeah.
You had rabbit ears on top of the TV. Yeah. I don't know. I grew up liking Batman, so I probably the Batman movie.
Awesome.
Growing up, and the ones today I just can't relate to. They're just dark.
I loved growing up. I loved Saturday Night Fever and Rocky. The first Rocky, I thought was so cool. Yeah, those are my favorites growing up. Yeah. And TV shows, I loved watching Happy Days and All in the Family. What about you TV shows?
My father, Archie Bunker.
Really?
He had pretty much almost like that guy.
Yeah.
To some degree. Not 100%, but how people pick out certain, I guess, what would you say, ticks about a person? All right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, he even gave him a shirt every day. Had Archie Bunker on his T-shirt. Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, TV shows I just laid in front of the TV. Saturday was great. David and Goliath. Never realized it was a Christian show.
Can I tell you something funny about that? So I remember watching Davy and Goliath. His name was Davy. And when I became an adult and I started reading the Bible and I started reading about David and Goliath, I'm like, wait a minute, his name's not David, it's Davy. I'm like, in my mind, it was really Davy in the Bible. And they're like, why are they calling him David when it's Davy and Goliath? That's from years of watching the show. But yeah, that was great. Yeah, fun childhood. Saturday morning cartoons were awesome.
Gumby and Pokey, Mighty Mouse, Underdog. Oh man, what the heck was the mounted guys?
What's the theme for Mighty Mouse? Do you remember?
Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on the way.
What about Underdog? There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
I'll save you, my sweet Polly.
All right, we're going to end the show.
Guy's name?
Who?
The mounted guy. You had Dick Dastardly was the guy with the mustache, the handlebar mustaches and the top hat.
Oh.
His name is on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, yeah.
Dudley Do-Right. Dudley Do-Right. Wasn't that it?
Do-Right. Yes, it was Dudley Do-Right. And Dastardly? Yeah.
Dick, not I'm probably relating him to Dick Cheney, but
I was going to say, let's end the show different. Let's end it by singing the Flintstones. Can you do it?
I don't know all the words.
All right, sing what you know. Ready? And guys that are watching, if you want to join us, ready? Flintstones, meet the
Meet the
Flintstones.
Flintstones.
They're
Gary
a modern
Ever
Stone
do.
Age
Oh,
family
see,
from the town of Bedrock.
that's
They're a
the word
face right
right
out
there.
of history. Let's ride with the family down the street through the courtesy of Fred's 2 feet when you're with the Flintstones. Have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do
Ever
time.
do time. We'll
We'll have a gay old time.
have to be careful about that.
Well, it was different. It was different
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, it
But-
didn't mean that then. It meant
no.
you were happy.
But Anthony, you've been wonderful. You got to come back on the show. Thank you for
you.
sharing your memories, and thank you for sharing that message of hope.
Oh, remember, we have to take a ride through Brooklyn and do the video.
That's what we'll do. We'll do a nice tour of the neighborhood we grew
Yeah,
up in.
well, I promised my friend Mike we'd bring him, so it'll be probably 3 of us, whoever else.
Sounds good.
All right, Denise,
Ann.
thanks for having me. It's been
Thank
fun.
you. All right. Thank you guys for
See you
watching.
later. What should
Bye.
I do? No?
Say bye. I'll do everything. You say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.